Saw fam, ScreenAgers, we are back. We're so back. We've been on hiatus for almost a month at this point, but it's time to start gearing up again for a new season of ScreenAge Wasteland's canon. My name is Raf. Once again, I will be the host for this upcoming season of the canon. Before we get into any actual essential movies, we're going to have some fun. We've gathered a dream team of sorts, our starting five, our ScreenAge starting five of some of our favorite contributing writers to talk about some movies from 2025 that we would all like to nominate for the canon. We'll note before we get into this that these are unofficial nominations that we're making. The official canon selection will still be going through its regular process run by the big dog Duke. So we want to make sure that he doesn't fire any of us from the website. Duke, we're not trying to actually take over the process for how movies get entered into the canon, but we figured we'd have some fun. 2025 just wrapped. We all wrote our lists of our favorite movies from the year. Oscar noms are out. Felt like as good a time as any to talk about this. So before we get into it, joining me today, we've got Jacob, we've got Bryan, we've got Ramona, and we've got Val. How are y'all folks doing?
Doing all right.
Doing
It's
great.
Friday.
Yeah.
Mostly great. After the Oscar nominations wrecked my predictions, but whatever. It's better to have some surprises. It's the duality of the Oscars.
Yeah.
It's
Really
we're recording on a Friday night. I think this is our first entry into the Canon Club. We're roped off in the VIP section. If you're watching on YouTube, some of us are indulging a little bit. So it should be a fun time. We're gonna get a little kooky, we'll say. If you guys are ready for it.
Ready.
So we've got the rules sort of laid out. We have our random wheel generator with all of our names. That will be how we select the order that we're going to nominate movies. We're each going to go through, nominate one flick. Whoever's up first will nominate said flick, give us a brief, reason and explanation for why they would nominate it into the canon. We'll discuss as a group, and then we'll move on to the next flick. As you all know, but just for some background, just in case, when we're thinking about movies that would enter the canon, these are movies that should be considered essential, whether they're just great movies that change or have changed the landscape of cinema, movies that represent different kinds of movements in movie history and all that good stuff. Like, these are the kinds of movies that are making up what's in our canon list. The movies that you can't tell the history of cinema without. It's obviously like way too early to actually know what those movies are going to be from 2025. We can guess what's going to have legs, what won't have legs, which is, part of why this exercise is so fun. We probably won't know until like 5 years from now, which I think is when, if we're all still writing for ScreenAge Wasteland 5 years down the road, that's when we actually would come back and look back on 2025 for the movies that would actually be entering the canon. So,
yeah.
And what now in 2026, we're looking back on movies from 2021, or have we already done 2021? I know we've done 2020.
Oh man.
I'm pulling up the movies from 2021 because I probably have some strong opinions,
Oh.
Well, 2021
was a bad year.
It was a bad year.
But you got good stuff. You got Dune. You got Worst Person in the World. French Dispatch is good.
Yeah.
There's stuff.
Coda.
Isn't
Coda 2021? Or is it?
I've never seen Coda.
Wait. Okay. Didn't Drive My Car come out in 2021?
It did. I love that movie.
Yes.
That's a great movie.
Recently.
That movie was my pick for Best Picture that year. Ugh.
Did anyone see Flea, the semi-animated, documentary? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
There was also Shiva Baby. There was
Should we scrap 2025 and just do 2020?
Power of the Dog. Pig was good. I liked Pig.
You've got the Celine Sciamma movie, Petite Maman, is incredible.
Not seen.
Yeah,
It's
good.
really good.
Good time travel flick, kind of.
Lost Daughter was that year too.
We maybe did already vote for movies from 2021 because I'm pretty sure Pig is in. I know we did 2020.
Pig in? Oh,
because
that makes
Sound
sense.
of Metal is in.
That's a good vote. Yeah.
Pig, and then probably Shiva Baby is in if we did 2021. I know Shiva.
I don't
Baby
think Shiva Baby's in. I think Dune is in.
Dune.
Well, that makes it. Yeah, Dune makes sense.
Yeah. But I think we voted on that too soon. And that was when Duke was like, we should give it some time because we voted for 2020 in like 2022. And people were like, Sound of Metal. Yeah, let's vote that in, which is like a fine movie. I haven't revisited it, but I don't think anyone now in 2026 is looking back on 2020 and thinking like Sound of Metal, that is the defining movie of this time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So these are the questions that we're going to be asking ourselves tonight about 2025. Whenever you guys are ready, we can give this bad boy a spin. We've got all of our names on. I promise there's no funny business going on. I wish that there was someone independent here to verify, but let's see who is nominating the first flick.
I love this because you're not sharing your screen, so we're just watching your reaction.
Sorry, I should be better about talking through that the wheel is spinning. Ramona, you're up first.
Nice.
What are you nominating for 2025 to enter the canon?
Do you want to take a guess?
I do have I think I know.
I have a guess. I think we all are guessing the same movie.
Yeah.
Well, Sinners is my guess. It's going to be my pick.
I was guessing something else. Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll get to you.
Tell
then.
us. Talk to us.
But I'm going to go with the. I mean, I would think that this would be probably at the top of most people's list for a movie that's going to be remembered and is culturally significant and will be in 5 years, if not longer. It was one of my only 2 5-star movies that I saw last year that I would say is a 5-star movie. And it's one that has stayed with me since I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times. The performances just in my eyes keep getting better. Ryan Coogler, I think one thing that really got me about this movie, I mean, technically it's in my opinion is flawless. Love the cinematography, love the performances, the music is incredible. But I also am a big, I love horror, and I'm a big fan of a antagonist that you understand in a way. And he doesn't, Jack O'Connell, I don't think gets enough credit for Remick in this movie. But when I do think about Sinners, I think about like Rocky Road to Dublin. I think of the beautiful dance music sequence of going through generations, transcending time with music. The social commentary is amazing, and not only just in terms of like the Jim Crow era, but how the Irish went through the same thing. And I don't know, it was the same with me with Black Panther with Michael B. Jordan. You don't exactly agree with what he's saying, but you understand what he's saying and you understand his motivations. And I kind of felt that same way with Remick. And I love a good villain, and a good villain to me is someone that you like, they're believable. And I don't know, everything about that movie, it just came in and just works. And I think it deserves all of its 16 nominations. I wish it would win all of them. It won't. But I think in several years, we're not going to be talking about Frankenstein, and we're not going to be talking about F1. People are still going to be thinking about Sinners, and I think it's going to influence and inspire a lot of future filmmakers and future, not even just the horror genre, but just cinema as a whole is going to find a lot of influence in that. So I don't know. I think I will continue to watch this movie when the urge strikes me to, and it's going to hold up. And I just think it's brilliant. So I think Sinners should absolutely, Duke, be in the canon when we get to when we get to this year, I guess. But yeah, that should be the number 1 in my opinion.
Well said, Ramona. Would have been my first pick as well. Anybody
I'm sorry.
else?
That's why I was so happy I got, because I was like, I don't know what else to pick.
No, I got some others that I'd be excited to talk about. So I'm glad to have you
get that one out of the way.
Speak about it eloquently.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
Yeah.
Valid.
Anybody else? Would it have been anybody else's first pick?
What was that?
Was it going to be? Were you going to guess that Ramona was going to nominate Sinners?
Yes, I was, and I think that's why I kind of like didn't even put Sinners in my list, because I knew with this group of people that someone else would, and so I was like, well, I just need to like not even have that as an option. In the off chance that none of you mentioned it, I was going to mention Sinners, but I assumed someone would.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to do Sinners personally for mine because I knew that it was going to be picked up. The same thing, and like Sinners is obviously, like, to me, Sinners is the number one movie from this year, in or as the front runner to be eventually in the canon list. Just for you can make a case for some other movies that came out this year if you were doing like the general populace, I think. But Sinners, I think, is the most aligned with ScreenAge Wasteland. Also, Ryan Coogler. This is like pretty much, probably most people would agree, this is Ryan Coogler's best movie. Kind of his like, big stamp. It just got 16 Oscar nominations. It's got the cultural moment behind it. And so, there's another movie that we might talk about here later, but that's from a director that has several movies that could be in the canon. And so this is like an easy, like, yeah, let's get Ryan Coogler needs to be in the canon, and this is the movie to do it. And it's clearly like one of the movies that's going to forever be looked back on in 2025. So yeah.
All right.
No disagreements here. Wow, the whiskey's getting to me. Oh, baby.
We're getting kooky.
So, Raph, this was your 1A pick for the year. Would it have been your selection for the canon as well?
Yeah, I mean, this is the obvious choice, right? Bryan, was this your number one?
It was my number one. Yeah.
Yeah. In most years, right, we were talking about 2021, where it's not that obvious what the movie would be even 5 years later, whereas we're getting, into 5 years later from that year. Immediately, December 31st into January 1st, we all know that Sinners is the movie of 2025. It's like extremely obvious. I think it also, with Sinners, like, it's already kind of indicative of a trend that we saw start in 2023 with the two movies that defined that year in Barbie and Oppenheimer, where you give a really talented director a big budget to make a cool original story, operating within like a genre or field that we know and understand and have seen many movies within, but they have like a bold vision for how to elevate it to the next level. And I think Sinners is like kind of, in a lot of ways, a direct descendant of Barbie and Oppenheimer. And I think it's cool that like we're like going to learn the lesson again. Hollywood's going to be like, oh, we should give this really cool, talented young director $1 bazillion to make this big, audacious blockbuster movie that is going to make $1 trillion, but also be extremely well made, and encourage like a lot of subsequent viewings, and will be something that people want to revisit for years to come. Like,
I sort of hope that with the success of the Bone Temple that we get an original Nia DaCosta movie. I think that would be. I mean, she's already kind of shown that she has the juice.
She can do it.
So I would. Here's hoping.
That's one thing that I did mention, was one thing I do love about the list that I did put together. They're all original movies. And I understand, reboots, remakes, whatever. Those all have their place, I suppose. But I felt like 2025, there were some really good, just original films out there that did make money, which I was really excited for, just to see kind of, with, like you said, with Barbie. But then also Hollywood's like, this make the Monopoly movie, just stupid, not really understanding what made Barbie so successful in the first place. But yeah, I love that Sinners was wholly original. Everything about it I hadn't seen before. It was a great take on a vampire movie, which transcended a vampire movie. But yeah, I'm really hoping that it does inspire to get some more of those kind of films made and get it the attention that they deserve, because a lot of them do not. They kind of fly under the radar until I see them 3 years later. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. I had a friend describe it as like a modern day Terminator 2, which
that's funny. Yeah.
And
talking about the timelessness of it, it is so freaking cool that Coogler gets the rights to this after 25 years.
25 years.
And that
Hell
he
yeah.
negotiated that. The most Oscar nominations ever, and he's going to own it in 25 years. That was such a savvy thing to put in there, because he knows what he's capable of making and knows that it's going to be something that is going to be canonized and remembered for the long term. So hats off to him for that. And I think the people who make the art should own the art generally. So
absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of what the movie's all about. Ownership over art.
Incredible.
Ownership. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Last question before we move on from Sinners. This is my like big take about Sinners, and it's in my top movies of the year write-up. Is that video of Coogler going through the different formats that you can see the movie in, like one of the most monumental or like significant, impactful videos that the internet has produced in the last like 5 to 10 years in terms of like cinema?
I haven't seen it. I have not seen that.
Oh, really?
No.
I think it did have a pretty big impact on the box office. And then you also had the Chalamet marketing call video that I think also, like, the way he marketed that movie had a big, so good year for creative people being involved in marketing their own movies and like making a dent in getting it out there, versus
in like real authentic ways. Like that Coogler video is like, I was not going to go see Sinners, and then I saw that video of him talking about all the different formats, and I was like, I have to see this in IMAX 70 millimeter. Like,
I won't lie that I saw Sinners. I hadn't heard very much about it other than just seeing trailers. I heard it be reviewed on NPR. And he described it as one of the most breathtaking scenes he had ever seen in a cinema. And he urged people to go see it in IMAX. So I was like, all right, fair.
Wow. Okay.
And he actually said something very similar about Surratt, which I still need to go see. But yeah, NPR got me to go see Sinners.
Hell yeah. Shout out NPR. Okay, cool. Oh shit, I didn't mean to click it, but we're spinning. So we're done with Sinners.
All right.
Sinners is the obvious number one. We know it. What's coming next? Oh my god, it's right on the border. But we have a decision. Bryan.
All right. I'm number 2. Okay. So Sinners would have been my number 1. And I think when I'm thinking about the idea of a canon and adding things that are recent to like a canon of movies that spans film history, you want to sort of pick things that are underrepresented in film history generally, because it gives you a chance to show sort of a breadth of variety that maybe wasn't there 50 or 30 years ago or whatever. So I think Sinners, of course, fits that mold. The second pick for me in that mold, and also fitting a little bit of like, I'm very like plugged in on international movies, and that's not necessarily what the canon is doing. So my pick is Sorry Baby, which I thought was excellent. I would venture to guess that there are no non-binary directors in the canon, and so this would be a really nice addition there, unless Jane Schoenbrunn has anything in the canon. But those movies are very.
Are we adding I Saw the TV Glow to the canon?
That would be sick. That would be an inspired pick.
Yeah, that'd be right.
But not eligible for this year, eligible for last year. So Sorry Baby delightful movie, just finds such a unique tone of being humorous, but also heartfelt and deep, and being very much drawn from personal experience. Eva Victor, I've seen, has been cast in several things now, and seems like they're going a little more towards the acting realm of things. Tremendous actor, so I'm very excited about that, but hope they get back to directing soon, because this is also very well directed. Just a delightful film, was very moving, and I think very worthy of inclusion in the canon for us here. So
Hell yeah. I
Yep.
love that pick.
This was also going to be my pick.
was it? Oh,
Yeah.
so fun.
Well,
This was the movie that I watched this year, I think, other than Sinners, that kind of stopped me in my tracks. I went and wrote an editorial about it, just kind of thinking about life stuff
It was
and whatever.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
really
thank
good.
you.
People
We
should,
should link to that. Yeah.
yeah, people
Thank
should go
you.
read that for sure.
That's really nice. But I think that I had never felt so seen by a movie in that kind of way. And yeah, I think that Eva Victor is a stunning director and actor, and aspirationally too. I would love to see more movies like this, just period. So yeah, I mean, I do think it belongs in the canon. I think it's a wonderful film, and yeah, I think that there will be more films in the future that we can point back to and go, well, it's kind of doing what Sorry Baby did.
Absolutely.
Love that. Ramona, Jacob, have you guys seen Sorry Baby?
I
know
have
Jacob
not
has.
seen Sorry Baby, but I do have it on my very long Oscar list that I wanted to watch. Of course, it didn't get any Oscar nominations, which, just based on after being able to go back on social media yesterday, after I had spent all day avoiding it, the fact that Sorry Baby got 0 nominations seemed to be a travesty among a lot of film people online. So I have heard great things about it. I have wanted to watch it. It is on my list in my watch later on my movies portal website. So I do hope to see it soon.
It didn't get any Oscar nominations, but it did get that phenomenal Julia Roberts shout out from the stage.
And the Golden Globes.
Pretty much as good. Yeah. As getting nominated for an Oscar, getting singled out by Julia Roberts. In a room
pretty
full
great
of
moment.
Important.
Yeah, I
fantastic.
Sadly, A24 did not really campaign that movie at all. I made a special 1 hour trek from Montgomery up to Birmingham to the Sidewalk Film Center, where I often have to go to see films this small and this cool. And so this was one of the few times I made that this year. I'm going back tomorrow to see No Other Choice. So, cinema is alive in Alabama, barely. I enjoyed this movie a good bit. It did not hit me as hard as I had maybe built. I mean, I had been built up so high when I saw it. It didn't quite. It's one of those things where you really want to be swept away and you enjoy it, but it doesn't quite get over that hump for you. And you're just like, I wonder if I watch this again. Like, did I? I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I get it for a screen. And interestingly, I've seen here and there a few of our ScreenAge Wasteland people are getting around to it now that it's streaming, and it is getting a good bit of love. So it's not something that, like, the biggest obstacle to this being in the canon would be how underseen it is right now, even among us at ScreenAge Wasteland. But it's a cool pick. It also kind of fits with our, like, where we would go with our indies. It's in the cool A24 indie kind of debut directors, a kind of cool deal. So yeah, I like the vibe. Honestly, it's funny because I thought it was a bit of a curveball from Bryan there, kind of with some of the movies that are still out there on the roster. And then Val said she was thinking it too. So obviously, we have a little bit of a brainwave here going. So
resonates.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max for anybody listening to this and wondering where to watch it. It's on HBO Max.
I was planning on watching it before I decided to crash the Oscar noms reaction episode of Pole Position. That was going to be how I was going to spend that evening, and then I decided to be an agent of chaos instead.
It all worked out.
A champion of Frankenstein.
this is such a this is such a cool pick. I think what you guys are talking about in terms of like expanding the notion of what kinds of stories we can tell is a really great reason for including this movie. I think obviously we're moving in a direction as like a country and society, although sometimes it doesn't fully feel this way, but we are moving towards one where we are like understanding non-binary people as like being part of our world. So like understanding how that's going to work within the film world. Like if we're thinking about like this movie getting shut out in Oscars, like what is this going to mean for nominations and like acting categories in 10, 15 years when there are way more non-binary people? Does it depend on the kind of role that they're taking? Are they leaning into one gender more in the role or whatever it may be? What kinds of stories are we telling? Like, will there be more I Saw the TV Glow? Will there be, I don't know like exactly what Sorry Baby is about, but will there just be stories about people who just so happen to be non-binary where it's not like a big factor? Will Eva Victor become a megastar because they got shouted out by Julia Roberts at the Golden Globes? And will we then look back on Sorry Baby as, oh, that's the movie that skyrocketed their career, you know? So this is one of those movies where right now the vision might not be that clear, but in terms of what it could end up being 5, 10, 15 years from now, very, very cool pick. I love it.
Can I take us a little off topic for a second?
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. Okay.
I was so convinced.
Okay. I want to share my solution for fixing the acting categories at the Oscars.
Okay.
Yeah. With what you mentioned with non-binary, actors being recognized more. So here's my idea. So still 4 categories, but the 4 categories are, you have lead and supporting, but then you also do
musical comedy.
I guess no, not musical comedy. That's a disaster. But I don't know that you call it original and adapted, but the idea is you're playing someone who is a real person versus you're playing someone who is an original character. And so that gets rid of all of the sort of bullshit. Oh, this person, played Bob Dylan, and we really recognize that this person is acting like Bob Dylan or like Elvis or whatever. And so therefore they're worthy of an Oscar. So you separate out like the original from the
biopics.
Yeah, the biopics.
Biopics get their own category.
And then the original thing gets like the original screenplay has always been like the cool kids table of like, these are the cool original movies. And so we can recognize movies here that maybe we're not going to recognize in Best Picture that are doing something new and inventive. And I think the original performance category sort of becomes that in a way. So that's
best imitation performance.
Best imitation,
yeah. If you have to show me side by sides at the end of the movie of how much this person looks like the real person, I don't really care. That's not interesting acting. Give me explore some emotional depth, create a character that is interesting to watch. Don't give me fake teeth, Rami Malek, and think that you're going to deserve an Oscar.
The thing is, I like Rami Malek, just not in that movie.
Not in that.
Yeah.
To hell with your wig, The Rock. You're not fooling anyone. That's not acting. That's just a wig.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we did get a makeup and hairstyling nomination, didn't we, for Smashing Machine? Yep.
Yeah.
So,
which was deserved. Okay, before we move on to the next nominated movie, Jacob, I think you had a counter to Bryan's proposal.
Oh, I was just going to say, does that mean that we're guaranteed 5 biopic performances? Is the only downside to that, but no,
but then we could just all stop paying attention and like go get a snack or whatever.
Bathroom break.
Yeah, perfect time.
Go get another glass of whiskey.
I just want them out of my. I want a category that's undiluted by that. Basically, that's my idea. So, but it might get sort of crowded, so that might be a good point.
Sweet. So I think we're ready for our third movie. It's down to me, Ramona, and Jacob. So we're
No.
going to see.
No, it's
I already
me
went.
and
Oh,
Ramona went first.
I was first.
Ramona did go first. Oh my God.
Confusing the women.
Classic.
Typical. It's the whiskey.
All right, let's spin this wheel before I get myself in more trouble. Who's it going to be? Who's number 3? We've already got Sinners and Sorry Baby. What is our third movie going to be? And it's coming from Jacob.
All right.
Nice. Well, it's crazy how one movie studio really dominated this year. We've already done Sinners from Warner Brothers, but there's several movies from Warner Brothers this year that really fit this bill. But I'm going to follow up with another A24 movie, Marty Supreme.
Oh.
Which is my favorite movie of the year, and I get to vouch for it because it's not just my favorite movie of the year. It's been in several of the Saw top 5s. I noticed. I think a lot of people in our community really love it. I think the Safdie brothers is very much our vibe, and this is obviously kind of notable as the first movie from Josh Safdie solo. And some people would I haven't seen all of Uncut Gems, to be fair. I watched half of Uncut Gems at one point, and it was a mix between it just being very long and we were running out of time, and also very stressful. But just even from that,
so stressful
from that half, I find Marty Supreme to be a little better personally. I mean, some people will disagree and do Uncut Gems, but I found Marty Supreme. I think Marty's a little more likable. Some people disagree with that, but Marty's a little more likable. Just he's got a little bit more charisma and a little bit more to go on, and also just I think the fact that it's set in 1950s New York gives it a different vibe and gives it a kind of fun old school. I mean, it's a beautiful looking film. The production design is beautiful. Jack Fisk worked on it. The score is absolutely awesome. Great needle drops. I love what Josh Safdie did with this 80s kind of synthy music over the 50s story, and whatever you take away from that. There's a couple different ways to look at that, but it just feels like a movie that obviously it has the cultural recognition. It's a arguably Timothée Chalamet's best performance out of the handful of great performances. So it's notable in several different ways, and it feels just like one of the movies of the moment. A really well made piece of art, and something that's very much on our kind of synergy.
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 Thoughts from the panel? How do we feel about Marty Supreme as
I'm a pro Marty Supreme. I think it's a great pick. I think it fits the sort of the canon that we're building here, and echo a lot of the things that you said. I actually feel like I love that Josh Safdie is continuing to do new stuff, because you could see in like the Good Time and then Uncut Gems mold how there's sort of a stress-inducing thriller element that rides through, and that is in Marty Supreme. It's actually sort of my least favorite part of the movie, but the sports elements that are done really well with the ping pong and the character study that's being done there does feel unique and fresh. It being a period piece is really fun and really well done. So I think there's just a lot to like in it. Yeah, so I really enjoy the movie.
Okay, so we've got Bryan. Bryan's on board. Val, we got to come back to this. Why do you hate it?
I don't hate it.
Oh, you said I don't hate it. I heard I hate it.
What I said was I haven't seen it.
I heard I I hate it.
No, I don't
I
hate it. I haven't seen it, is what I said.
I heard you
I hate
correctly,
it.
Val. And so I was wondering why everyone was reacting.
Yeah, I was like, is it so funny that I haven't seen it?
drastic.
Like, that's all I said was I haven't seen it.
I heard Val correctly, and I understood exactly what Raph and Ramona heard immediately.
I'm so
And
sorry.
I was just waiting for the
I have
fallout.
nothing
I was
against
like,
Marty
oh.
Supreme. I just haven't seen it yet. That's all.
I think deep
I
down, I
really
was
hope-
hoping that there would be some debate in this episode.
No.
So I think I was just there was some wishful thinking there.
So Val, now
Because
you need to watch the movie, and we're gonna need you to have a strong negative opinion.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
And
hate
come
I
back.
probably won't. I like Timothée Chalamet. I'll probably
Ramona
like
is
it.
ready for him to go away, so maybe she'll have something.
Apparently, he's been obnoxious on the press tour. I'm not on TikTok, so I have no idea.
I'm not either. I don't know. I don't know what it is about his face. I don't like it. And I feel like every year he's doing the big Oscar movie. It feels almost like Bradley Cooper. Like, I want that Oscar and I'm going to do all this stuff to get it. And I love Jennifer Lawrence, but there was those like 5-6 year span where it's like she was always there.
She's
And I was
everywhere.
like,
Yeah. I mean,
please,
I just
God.
thought he was absolutely like, I read Dune ages ago and I thought he was absolutely inspired as Paul Atreides. Like, I can't picture
Yeah.
anybody else playing that role better.
To be fair, I'm not saying that I think he's a terrible actor. I
get what you're saying.
I liked him in Call Me by Your Name. I loved that movie. I liked he was great in Little Women, one of my favorite movies of that year as well. But it's just lately, I'm just like, why are you always here on my screen?
Mhm.
But that said, my husband does want to see Marty Supreme, so we will be watching it. So I will let you know if I like it. I'm gonna eat some crow. I'll be like, he was great. Good for him for winning the Oscar, which he probably will. I hope he does, because then maybe he'll go away for a little bit, like Jennifer Lawrence did. So I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've heard great things. I like the cast, except him and Gwyneth Paltrow. But I love the rest.
I actually liked him in The King originally, back in 2019. Robert
I've
never
Pattinson
seen
was
it.
in that too.
Yeah.
It was pretty
That's
good.
right. I do remember Robert Pattinson because everyone was talking about, was it his accent?
It was his French accent. And honestly,
Yeah.
my husband speaks French, and he was like, his French accent is not that bad. It's actually pretty good. So,
He's also
Who
another
knows?
actor that he does those films that either really, really good or I just don't get it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Marty Supreme, like you said, it's been on the top 5 of a lot of the writers on the site, and it's been in a lot of the top 10 of 2025 on a lot of critics, and I'm sure it's a very good movie. I have to.
It feels like last year, when even though some of the movies didn't hit for me, like for instance, I was Nosferatu from Eggers. There's a certain quality to it that just resonates, even if it doesn't personally resonate with you. It's where you can be like, this is like this is probably the piece of film that is like really stand out for this year that needs to be part of the conversation. Raph, I know you liked Marty Supreme.
I really dug Marty Supreme. I'm a club or card holding member. I really cannot speak. This whiskey's really getting into me. I'm a card holding member of Club Chalamet. I love Timothy. I love his whole obnoxious aura. I love that he's an annoying New York City kid who goes to Knicks games and like appropriates black culture and wants to be Marlon Brando and Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio, but because he grew up in like the social media age, he doesn't know how to be cool and suave like them. He just like tells everyone that he wants to be like them. I think that's the thing that we find annoying, is that he's under 30 and he is as talented as those guys and he wants to be in the same class as them, but he grew up with Instagram. So he's a fucking Instagram kid who wants to be Jack Nicholson. Like that's why he's courtside at Knicks games. It's
so funny.
I get like both sides of it, but I'm like, for some reason, all in on the Timothée Chalamet lore. He's also been incredible in like a bunch of absurdly good movies. He's not even 30, and he's been in 8 Oscar Best Picture noms.
Yeah.
And he's been nominated for either supporting or best actor in like 5 of those. Like
he's killing it.
He's on an absolutely insane run. He's going to get his first Oscar for this. So like we will see if this is just, okay, this dude had an insane run in his early to mid to late 20s and then goes away forever, or this is what catapults him into like a godlike level in terms of movie stars and actors of all time. So
he becomes the next Harrison Ford or whatever.
Like eclipses Harrison Ford. Like he's in like Jimmy Stewart territory. We're going to be getting a biopic about Timothy Chalamet 80 years from now, starring Rob Riggle.
Stop.
So
Rob Riggle. You need some water. Put the whiskey down.
you haven't seen the Jimmy Stewart biopic trailer? Okay, that's why you don't get the Rob Riggle joke.
So isn't it Archie from Riverdale that's playing Jimmy Stewart? Biopic?
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, but there's a moment where Rob Riggle pops up in the trailer, and it's hilarious.
Dear God. I love.
But all this to say, I love Timmy.
I love Rob Riggle.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I was like, wait, what?
So funny.
We also don't have any Safdie brother movies in the canon. Like my personal choice would be Uncut Gems, but I can 100%. See where this movie ends up having more legs. It's like more accessible than Uncut Gems. It reaches a broader audience. Again, it could mean a lot for Timothy Chalamet's career, and like what that means 10 years from now makes a lot of sense for this to be a canon pick.
Especially 2 months from now when he gets his first best actor for it, and you can be like, see the movie that made him an Oscar winner.
Yeah. And then like later this year, he's going to be in another Dune movie. Like he's truly on an insane run. I get why he's so annoying. I would be that annoying if I were in Little Women and Call Me By Your Name and Lady Bird and 3 Dune movies, you know.
To be fair, he wasn't in Lady Bird a whole lot. It was just a smaller, he was an asshole in that one too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Apparently he gave like half of the NYU campus chlamydia, so.
That's not surprising.
I have another Timothée Chalamet story. I was in a group chat with somebody who lived near him, and they said that all their local spots were ruined because they would like go to them frequently, and then all of a sudden Timothée Chalamet started going there, and then it was swamped, and they couldn't go there anymore to get their breakfast bagel or whatever.
Frickin'
and they said
Timothy.
that he was like ruining their life because it happened like 3 or 4 times in a row.
See, and this must be the aura that he gives off to me, which is why I'm not a fan of him personally. Stay home, Timothy. Stop ruining things for people. God.
Stay home.
All right, I'm almost done with this. This is probably why.
Stop going out in public.
Stay home.
All right. I think we've exhausted our Timothy Chalamet chatter for the year. So,
I think so.
Let's get to it. We got 2 more movies. It's between
It's you or me, Raph. Let's go.
Let's see. Let's spin this wheel. We've got 3 good picks. A lot of other good movies out there.
I know what you're gonna say. I already know what your pick is gonna be.
You know what my pick is gonna be?
Yeah.
I know what the 2 picks are probably gonna be.
Oh, I don't think you do.
It is me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And okay. Oh, I don't know what to go with now. Because Val is reading me like a book. But
no,
well, you were talking a lot about this yesterday, so
yeah. I think I have to do it. I'm a PTA guy.
Yeah.
One Battle is going to be. I think One Battle and Sinners also exist in a world where you can't talk about one without talking about the other one, kind of like Barbenheimer. So I'm going to go with One Battle as my pick. It's far from, maybe not far, but it's not my favorite PTA movie. It is a movie that, despite what you might see from online chatter, it is a movie that sort of like meets the moment of where we are as a country and society and speaks to that and reflects that and is in conversation with all of those things in a really interesting and honest way, but is also true to PTA, a really personal movie about characters and their relationship to one another and how they navigate those relationships through difficult and, you know, big dramatic times in their lives. It's an incredibly well-made movie. It's probably going to win Best Picture. It's going to be deserving of Best Picture when it does win. It's going to be one of those movies where we're like, yes, that is one of the Best Picture winners of all time. That movie deserved it, and PTA will finally get his Best Director Oscar. Its legacy will carry on for years and years. It's another great entry from one of our most brilliant American directors working right now. So it would be hard to not have One Battle in the canon.
I mean, it's the
What
movie of the moment for the film community as a whole. Maybe it's not like the number one for Saw, but it would be really weird to get to the end of this video and skip over One Battle. It'd be like we were trying really hard to dodge it, because I mean, it is like, it's one of those movies that's so hyped, you almost, like, maybe some people would have the sensibility to try and like dodge it, but it is what it is. It's a great movie. It's a significant artistic achievement from Paul Thomas Anderson. It's not like we can only have one movie per director in the canon. We have several movies from several directors in the canon, including
too many Nolan
Bob
movies.
Reiner, rest in peace, who has 5 in the canon. So I mean, you know, sometimes really good directors make more than one really great movie, and you just have to put another one in the canon. So, you know, this is one of those.
And it's doing something different. So I like that. Question for the panel. If One Battle After Another wins Best Picture, how many Best Picture winners from this century are better than One Battle After Another?
From the century?
I don't think there are many. I would put Parasite as better.
I would definitely say Parasite is better.
Moonlight comes to mind.
Are we talking
Moonlight's
nominees
a
or
good
just
call.
winners?
Just winners. Just winners.
Obviously,
Nominees
Crash.
is too much to think about.
Stop.
Crash.
I
God
liked
damn it.
Nora better than I liked One Battle.
It's right there for me. Yeah, it's tough to
Personally.
pick, but Honora
I'm gonna
is
be-
really good.
Everything Everywhere All at Once is really, really good.
I
I
was gonna say,
do
I'm
like
gonna
that
be
one,
the
yeah.
odd man out here, and that's my main thing is, which wasn't an odd take in the year that it happened, but then became more of a, people kind of spoiled on it. But yeah, I personally like Everything Everywhere better, but I mean, not many. One Battle is a standout winner when it most likely wins, and if Sinners wins, it will be in the same boat.
Maybe
I
the most similar movie would be No Country for Old Men.
That's
to
also
One
an
Battle?
excellent film. Yeah.
Which one would you guys pick? That's sort of an impossible question at this point because One
honestly,
Battle is so new.
I would pick No Country for Old Men,
Mm.
personally.
I would probably. I've only seen No Country for Old Men once. Crazy. So, but if I saw it again, I would probably pick it. But it's a toss up for me right now.
Just making PTA lose to No Country for Old Men all over again. Y'all.
Yeah, I'm looking at what the past few winners were because I don't remember
Yeah,
all of them.
not
I think I'd go
very
One
great.
Battle over No Country.
Yeah,
I can't
I
believe
think I would
Arrival
too.
lost.
I think I
Oh my
would too.
God.
But what would you do against?
Yeah, that's
know.
wild.
Against Nomadland?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
One
I mean,
Battle
if we just want to talk about like
yeah.
the most forgettable Best Picture winners from
This isn't this. We're veering into an off-season pole position episode. You should
Yeah.
probably.
Okay, we'll save it for later.
I do think that the question about like, so like you have something like Sorry Baby, which could fall into the category of this movie was so good, and part of the reason why it's in the canon, part of the reason why it's remembered is because it was so overlooked by like so many year-end lists, by awards and things like that, right? Like we have a ton of movies in the canon that are like that become like either like cult darlings or get found years later after their release, and everyone's like, holy shit, this movie's awesome. Why have we not been talking about this movie forever? But then you have, you know, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or something where in the moment everyone was like, this movie is really, really good. It speaks to a specific time in American culture and American history and like where we're moving as a cinematic industry or whatever. And that's where you get something like One Battle or Sinners, right? Like Sinners is like kind of feels like a modern day Jaws where
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like
I would agree.
but these movies all then become essential for different reasons, which I think is like kind of the interesting exercise that we're doing now, where like you know, who's to say what the legacy will be, but trying to like project that out right now is like really 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 fun. But then you have like best picture winners like The Shape of Water, and it's like, okay,
I
that
love
wins,
Shape of Water.
and then we all forget about it, like
I didn't forget about it.
Yeah. Honestly.
but they're like, think about the other movies from 2017 that you're going to think about before you think about Shape of Water. You're going to think
Yeah.
about Get Out.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about Phantom Thread before I
Yeah.
think about Shape of Water.
That's
Lady
you know?
Bird is that year too.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah, Get Out was that year. Jeez.
Yeah.
Get Out should
Yeah.
have won.
Yeah.
and then you have 2019 where there are like 15 like all-time movies that come out. And
1917 came out that year.
and we pick Once Upon a
Irishman.
Time in Hollywood to represent us in the can. Go listen to that episode if you haven't already. It's a fun one. Sweet.
All right.
Can
I'm
we
on
say
one.
too, though, when Paul Thomas Anderson wins his Best Director statue, really, he gets to go home with Maya Rudolph at the end of the night. And that,
Fair.
to me, is beyond anything that you can win at the Oscars, because she is incredible. Just
A
saying.
treasure. Yeah.
God, I love her.
I think my
Yeah.
favorite thing about Paul Thomas Anderson is that he's this amazing filmmaker. He's one of the masters of his time, and he's just like the most normal dude.
So
He's like, yeah, I just want to watch basketball and hang out
Aggressively
with my
normal.
super
With
awesome
his-
wife.
And like 5 kids. It's
Yeah.
incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I just want to listen to Haim. And
Right.
yeah. Also, by the way, I happen to make There Will Be Blood.
I was gonna
Awesome.
get
All
her
right.
quick.
Yeah.
Let's spin this bad boy one last time. Let's
I
see
mean-
who it's gonna land on.
Well,
It
Well,
could
I
be
mean, we
anyone.
could be anyone.
Who's to say?
Could go back to
Still
Ramona.
Val.
Val.
Hooray. All right. I've been back and forth in my head about this because I had a few backups. But really, when I think about what I think is going to be the longest lasting, and it's just more of a gut feeling, this isn't based on insider knowledge or anything. I think that Zach Kreger has his fingers on the pulse in terms of what horror is doing and where it is going. So I'm going to say Weapons for my pick for the
that's great.
canon.
That was
And
on
I
my
think
list.
I think 5 years from now, like Barbarian is still very well loved. And we're over 5 years out from that. I think
Yes.
Weapons will be the same way. And
Mhm.
I am so looking forward to see what he does with Resident Evil. I am obsessed with that franchise, and I cannot wait to see what he does with it. So, yeah, I'm going to say
Yeah,
Zach Kreger's
I
Weapon.
agree. It's a great movie.
It's a great choice.
Yeah,
Did anyone else have it on their list?
Yeah.
I did. I had it as a
I
backup.
almost did. If I had legs, I'd kick you. That was my close other option.
Yeah.
But
My list went 4 deep, and we got all 4 in there.
hooray!
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Same,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
Say,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
same, but
that's
yours had
cool.
Sorry Baby and mine had whatever yours didn't have.
Yeah.
Weapons is great.
Yeah, there. It's. I think we're all thinking the same way about this
Mhm.
exercise, which is neat.
Yeah.
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 I
I
think
didn't
Weapons
even know
is
what Weapons was about until I saw, but when I saw it was by the same guy who created or did Barbarian, I was like, I'm there. Because
And the 7 hot dogs joke in it,
crazy.
so good, so good that he hid that in there.
it was one of those where I'm like, I don't need to know what this is about. I'm going to go see this movie because Barbarian was so crazy.
It's
and
unhinged in the best way.
Unhinged in the best way. And I walked out. I see these movies with my sister, and I remember at the end we just looked at each other like, what the actual just happened? Like, it was incredible. So Weapons was the exact same way. The way I loved how they told it in chapters with each character, how it tied everything together. Amy Madigan, excellent. And
One of
amazing.
the few movies that hid that, like, you did not know anything at all about Aunt Gladys going into that movie, whether you watched every trailer. You could not go into that movie unless you had gone in late and heard from friends. Like, that was a total curveball. And that was awesome. And that was a great thing.
And
that we
and the way it nailed several tones throughout too, because it has moments of genuine tension and fear.
Yes.
It's also really funny, funny,
so funny.
And honestly, I cried at some of the sad moments during Weapons.
I did too. I cried everything, but
still. I was feeling a lot for the kid, like opening the soup cans by himself.
God.
It also,
I'm getting like triggered now, like going back.
It feels very like modern, but it also taps into a very long, like deep-seated fear. Because when you really think about it, this is just like a really weird modern retelling of the Pied Piper.
It is.
Yeah,
it absolutely is.
This figure that comes and suddenly lures your children away, and so like it's this weird thing of someone having control over your children and just making them disappear. And then there's
also,
I think the ending is just
when we look back.
I don't want to spoil it, but yeah. Oh my God.
15 years from now on, okay, what was America in the 2020s defined by? Like what defined the Trump era of America? Like, what were our anxieties about like society and culture? Like, I think a lot of it's going to be reflected in what we see in Weapons in terms of like what's happening to our children, not knowing how to protect our children, and suburbia, right? Like kind of similar to like a lot of the horror movies of the 80s and the anxieties that are being dealt with there. So I think Weapons is like an incredible choice. I think Weapons, like maybe even more so than Sinners in One Battle, like 20 years from now is going to be the movie that like defines this moment or like defines this year. Which kind of feels
definitely
like
in terms of the anxieties, like you're saying, for sure.
I think it's great that you can both, like, you can either believe that Weapons has these actually deep themes embedded in it that are like kind of just obscured, or you could just believe like it's totally like not intended and it's just totally like a romp. But either way, it's a freaking great movie. So like,
but that's what makes it a great movie. Is it could be just this is a really entertaining, unhinged film. Or it could also be, I'm seeing and sensing a lot of deeper themes here that reflect how we're living right now. So it's nice that you can go into it either way and just be really entertained or be like, oh my God.
Because I did see the thing of like, 217 was the time on the clock, and also that's like the number of votes to pass like a bill through the House or whatever. But when asked about it, he was like, oh no, I did Room 217 from Stephen King's The Shining. And I'm like, I mean, that's valid too.
But see, you can see those little things and you can pick up on them, whether they're intentional or not. You're still finding all kinds of stuff in these films that you can be like, oh well, this is actually reflective of this, and the director might be like,
it works
no,
in
actually
multiple
it's
ways.
not, but
we need a little bit more like ambiguity in horror rather than like, oh, this is rooted in past trauma and whatever. Like we're doing a lot of that.
Sometimes a horror movie is just a horror movie.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's just there to scare you,
and that can be
or
really
make you
good
laugh,
as well.
which it did. So
also, a side note, Ramona, what you were saying about Timothée Chalamet is how I feel a little bit about Zach Cregger. Like, incredible director, makes great movies.
But you
I
just
cannot
don't like
stand
him as
the
a
guy.
person.
Yeah,
okay, that's fair.
Watching interviews is
fair.
Like,
totally fair.
The worst person you know just made a fantastic movie.
Right.
Sort of You know,
Yeah.
The Whitest Kid You Know just made a
The Whitest
fantastic
Kid
movie.
You Know.
that
The Whitest
probably
Boy.
is why, because I'd seen some of those videos, and so I just
Yeah.
can't like reconcile in my mind that this
That's
guy
fair.
Valid,
is making
honestly.
these great movies.
Hey, if he
I-
does
yeah.
like Resident Evil justice, then we will be good forever.
Yeah.
I will be seated for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's earned the like I'm gonna watch whatever he does
Yep.
Mhm,
at this point.
for
You
sure.
know?
I think similar to Marty Supreme, the barbarian to weapons jump is he's like honing his form and his
Yeah.
craft, but this is also a way more accessible movie, right? Like
Yes.
Mhm.
barbarian's
Oh, yeah.
cool in like letterbox
It's not
circles,
for everybody. It's
but
not for everybody.
you can tell like all of your friends about weapons, and like people are
You can't
going
tell your
to
friends
dig-
about
you
barbarian.
can't tell your friends about
I mean, you
barbarian.
can, but you're gonna get a look.
Yeah.
You can't show
I got
everyone
it.
You'll be
Uncut
like,
Gems.
oh, you mean that one with the lady and the
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
it's
that
also
one.
it's also not a given that like directors are going to be able to work with larger budgets and make something
Yeah.
as compelling as what they've done with
Yeah.
smaller budgets and tighter teams. So it's always cool to see when someone takes that jump and does really
Yeah.
well with
It
it.
does it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 4 of our 5 movies fit that bill because Josh Safdie was working with A24's biggest budget ever. Obviously, PTA had a huge budget for One Battle. Ryan
Yeah.
Coogler
Mhm.
was for Sinners, and
Sinners.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Weapons was at Cracker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
lots of
That's
guys
what happens when you give
treating
yeah,
their budgets
give them
well.
some money. Yeah.
Yeah. And knowing how to work it. Yep.
Right.
So that's good. Coogler, of course, had done like Black Panther, so he's worked with a big budget
Sure,
before,
yeah.
but still, like,
For
yeah,
sure.
using
The
it
Black
on
yeah, Black Panther I think really gave him that opportunity to do Sinners because it was so
Yeah.
good and so successful.
Mhm.
I think that was the first Marvel movie to be nominated, wasn't it, for Best Picture? So I think it
Sounds
It
was
might have been.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
yeah. So I really think that kickstarted, look, he can do this, and then he comes out with Sinners, which is better. It's just I can't wait to see what he does next, to be honest with you. So very excited. It's very exciting.
Fun stuff. I think we
Yeah.
nailed the 5.
I think we
This-
did.
I think this is a
Lock
great
it in,
part.
Duke.
Wonderfully.
You,
Yeah.
you know our
Duke.
vote.
Lock it
You
in.
know what to do.
It's already
Bef-
done.
Before we wrap things up here, does anyone have any other zany, wacky picks? We can do this in a quick.
Bring her back.
Okay.
That's my
lightning
wacky
round
pick.
style.
What was that?
I had
We're doing lightning round style.
Yeah, let's do a
Yeah.
quick
Shout 'em
lightning
out.
round.
Bring Her Back is, I think, the first one out personally.
Yeah.
It just fits with our horror tinge. It's
Yeah.
this great sophomore follow up from the Philippou brothers. It's in the A24, and it's just got this vibe. Great performance from Sally Hawkins. Bring Her Back seems to be like right there.
The sound design in that movie is insane. Like
Mhm.
nothing else I saw last year could compare to it.
Terrific.
Yeah.
And
I don't
deeply
know.
unsettling. Brian, go ahead.
For our Saw awards, we were talking about Nickel Boys and The Brutalist as well. I don't know if those would be eligible here because a lot of people didn't see them during 2024, but those would both be worthy, certainly.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Nickel Boys too, Brian, and like this and Brutal. I was going to bring up Brutalist, but it does make sense. But Nickel Boys is like a completely mesmerizing work of like cinematography. It's very like the topical, it's a fictional story, but it's based in history, and it's like so moving and important. I would also say that you could make a case for like some movies that are from directors or like people that might go in the canon, like Begonia from Yorgos or Eddington from Ari Aster. Both of them, at least Eddington, more divisive, but that's one that could years down the line people could reevaluate and look at differently. And I know,
Yeah, I have Eddington on my list. It's I really just wanted to needle Bryan, but I could see us coming back to Eddington in a couple of years and saying, "Oh yeah, that captured COVID, so that's a movie that we all love." Or we could come back and say like, "Ooh, that was a really weird look at COVID." I still don't know what to make of Eddington.
I think Eddington
I
needs
look
to
at
be
it.
like 1 hour shorter, and it would be a pretty solid movie. But it is like far too long and meanders way too much.
But there's been a thirst at the Wasteland for a Nastor film, so I mean, you could go back and do one of his earlier works in the canon, but Eddington is on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Midsommar is a much better film, personally.
I agree.
I don't think Eddington would get in until like at least 10 years from now. I think like Eddington won't be reevaluated until a ways down the line. But I could see us having communities who want to like reclaim Eddington, or we like based on whatever happened, we totally rethink the way that we view Eddington. Bryan, Romona, did you guys have any other lightning round picks?
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're talking like true cult movies, like not widely seen at all, but in 5 years, maybe it's taken off, sort of taken the Hundreds of Beavers route, perhaps. Reflection in a Dead Diamond is like this James Bond spoof parody thing that has all of the style and incredible visuals, and I think I could see it like really catching on in like the indie theater circuit in the coming years, and having that path to really becoming like a cult classic. So that would be one that I'd shout out and recommend that everybody see, because I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. Speaking of, I guess speaking of indie, I could pick Good Boy. Just based on the incredible performance by Indy
the dog.
But
Indy the dog.
I don't know. You know, my list had I had something that everybody already picked. And if I were to pick a movie, if I could personally put a film into the canon that I wanted without having to go through the votes and like think about, oh, how many people saw it and what, I would honestly, I loved The Life of Chuck from last year. I thought that movie
I agree.
was so incredible. Mike Flanagan just has a way of directing and writing life in such a way that is so, it resonates with me so much. I loved the short. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. Loved the short story, and the way that he was so true to it. It was probably now in my top 5 King adaptations of all time. It was so well done. I love the performances, the way it was told in the book with the reverse of Chuck's life. It was just everything about it. Just, I don't know. It made me cry. I loved it. It was my only second 5-star movie of 2025 that I would give 5
I think
stars to.
in years from now it will pick up on streaming. And
I really hope it does. Yeah.
The wholesome rewatch kind of treatment.
Yeah. I feel like Mike Flanagan is just one of those very underrated directors. Everything he has done, I have adored. The Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, even The Fall of the House of Usher, which was disturbing as hell, but I loved it. Like everything he has done has just been on point for me. And I was excited for The Life of Chuck. It lived up to the expectation. And it's just one of those movies that in this age of uncertainty and anxiety and horribleness, like watching a movie that even though there's like grief, but there's also joy, and it makes you really appreciate like, not to be cliche and stupid, but it makes you appreciate being alive and just having people in your life that you care about. And it's just
Hope Core was hot in 2025.
Hope, man, that movie is Hope Core
was
to the max.
was a vibe for sure.
You need it. So yeah, I would pick Life of Chuck.
I do have one more that I know Bryan has seen and Jacob is going to see, and that is No Other Choice, because it did technically come out 2025. I think, that movie is very, very good and probably does actually deserve to be in the canon. Park Chan-wook does things with the camera that are unbelievable, and it's an excellent movie.
The style of that and the way he's able, like talking about, there's been discussion of directors who really focus on period stuff because they sort of shy away from technology, and between No Other Choice and Decision to Leave, like the way Park Chan-wook shows technology and the way people use it, it's so seamlessly incorporated into his filmmaking style. It's incredible. Yeah.
And honestly, I haven't seen it obviously, but that might actually be number 6 on this list because we have a big Park Chan-wook contingent, and assuming that we continue to all agree that it's like really, really good, really strong work, that could easily be a movie from 2025 to get in the list. Going back really quick to The Life of Chuck, just because Raph, you said you wanted a little conflict.
Oh, here we go.
Just
it's
to
always
say,
me.
I'm not gonna come after. I mean, it's fine if you like it, but I've been told, like, Raph can probably vouch because I think I messaged him about this when I saw the movie. Like, I left the theater thinking that was like kind of mid, and like by the time I got home, I was like, yeah, actually that was kind of bullshit. Like, and it's not to do with the direction at all. Like, it's finely directed. It's the whole premise of the story of itself. Once I started to, like, not to spoil the life of Chuck for anyone, so the way Act 3 is set up, once I like unraveled, I'm like, that means nothing to me. Like, I don't think that really works for me. Like,
I feel like because Duke asked me about Act 3, and he had put the spoiler thing in there. He's make sure he didn't want to spoil anyone, but he's like, "Is this what happened?" I'm like, "This is what happened." And I guess if you haven't read the short story, it's hard to really grasp what they're doing with it. But I had, so I knew exactly what was happening as it was happening. But I can see, like, yeah, if people go into it like expecting one thing and it's just not making a lot of sense for them in Act 3 going back to Act 2 and Act 1 and everything. Like, I get it, it's not for everybody, but
we don't have any Flanagan right now. We do have Old Boy for Park Chan-wook.
Yeah,
and we do have
Old Boy.
We have a decent amount of Korean cinema in terms of like international. So just thinking about like what is represented in the canon to, like, if you want an entry point into these kinds of movies, or if you want an entry point into this aspect of cinema, like trying to think about like all of those things. Like I totally, like, I can see myself loving No Other Choice. I can see myself digging Life of Chuck. But then when we think about movies that were like, these are the essential movies that you need to watch, like, do those come
on those? Yeah.
Do those come into play? Which is an interesting question.
Because I love Mike Flanagan, but truthfully, I think the film of his that belongs in the canon hasn't been made yet. So
that sounds right.
And I agree. I think his television
he gets better and better. So I think,
like,
he's,
to me,
like,
his best work right now is The Haunting of Hill House.
It is,
in my opinion.
And I think it's because he's took so much time with it. And
he had plenty of time. He had the money. He had, everything. And like I said, I've loved everything he's done past Hill House, and even, like, I love Hush. I think it was Oculus.
Hush was pretty good.
Hush was,
I think,
really
Oculus
good.
is probably his best film.
Yeah.
To me it is. But I think if he was going to do Revival by Stephen King and it was canceled, and
I know.
If he had done that movie, it might belong in the canon.
Revival is great. I mean, he's doing The Dark Tower, but I know that's going to be a series. TV. So, but he's really great at just television. I think is his strength. But I've enjoyed his movies too. But I do agree that, for me, Life of Chuck is probably my favorite film of his besides Hush. But yeah, I can agree that maybe the film that belongs in the canon from him right now just hasn't been made yet. So we'll have to wait and see. So
yeah, he does seem like a worthwhile director to include, but there are many worthwhile directors who are not included. There are worthwhile movie stars who aren't included. There's no Tom Cruise. I still don't know if we have a David Lynch movie.
Do we not have a David Lynch movie?
No.
Hannah
Drive's not in the canon?
Today. Yeah. Hannah said she didn't understand that this was just this year. I guess I hadn't told her. So I was saying, we're going to add movies to the canon. She was like, you need to add a David Lynch movie to the canon.
Yeah. It breaks my heart that there's no David Lynch movie.
That's really surprising to me.
Yeah. Brian, I think
we'll add rabbits to the canon. That'll be the one.
What did Jake do?
Oh, the monkey one. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, that's a good one.
I don't know if it's worthy. I don't think it will be, but maybe Superman at some point will feel like a canon-worthy movie when we're talking about 2025 Hope Core
Could be.
kind of coming back.
Of course, yeah.
Also, I'm going to throw in The Mastermind into the mix. That seems like something where people will come to that movie and all think together, why did we not show this more love when it first came out? I don't know how much it speaks to the moment or will like define the moment, but I think that could be something that we all sort of come back to as like, this was among the best things made, around this time. But I think we did really nail the 5.
Yeah.
We would only be able to pick 2 or 3. Who's to say what would actually come from that? That's for the Saw contributors to decide whenever we do end up voting for it. But this has been so much fun. It's been a blast chatting with you guys in the Canon Club. Jacob's got his dog. I got to finish this whiskey. We got more movies to watch. We got season 7 of the Canon coming up. We got to figure out what we're going to be talking about, who we're going to be talking to, and all that good stuff. I'm sure the 4 of you will all be back at some point throughout this season. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for all the essential movies, all of the great conversations. It's going to be a blast. ScreenAgers, we hope you all join. Any parting words for folks from the 4 of y'all before we get out of here?
Go watch Sorry Baby on HBO Max.
Absolutely.
I think we need a list of the best Hope Core movies to watch in times of trouble.
So true.
Just saying. Let's get some Hope Core going for 2026, please.
Yeah, it's time. It's time. Time for Hope Core. ScreenAgers, we'll see you back here in this feed sometime soon. Maybe another special episode. Maybe we'll just dive right into essential movies. We don't know yet. We're kind of playing it live, as they say. But we will see you here next time. And as always, in the meantime, we will see all of you lovely folks in the wasteland.